So, how many of you have done the three questions? Type me. How many are you ready with the three questions? Okay, Sharang, Tushit, Harshit, Bhavesh, Anurag. Okay, Bhaskar, Swapnil, Shende. Okay, good. I'm happy that quite a few people have done. I'm sure there would be many who would not have done. I'll come back to you and look at those answers, what you have done. But let's cover some ground for today. Okay. So basically, we said how big the answers should be. There is no very clear rule out there, but generally, when you are introducing yourself, ideally around a minute and a half is a good time frame, because anything long it will become very boring, but anything short, it is too short for you to make that impact. So you need to know about it. So you must cover the following things. This is what we discussed. You introduce yourself, where are you from, what is your education, what kind of internships or work experience you have, projects, and what really triggered you to pursue a career as a web developer. How has been your journey in Masai school? This is a very core element. That is why it is sandwiched between the two. A brief family introduction is good but not mandatory, but it is recommended, especially if you're connecting with the HR folks. It creates that emotional connect. Good to talk about extracurricular hobbies and leisure interest, which can have some common interest there. Please understand this. I don't know how many of you have seen the videos of the pilot when they ask what is the most difficult part in flying. They would say takeoff or landing. If you compare that analogy out here, the most difficult part in the interview is the start and the close, right? So many people stumble upon on the start. They think it's going to be introducing himself. Either they will be all around the places, or they would say that this is what it is. uh, Jatin Kaushik, you're asking, do I get the presentation? No, you get the recording. You watch the recording, you understand why do you want the presentation, right? Don't collect presentation, it's not going to help you. What is going to help you is understanding what I'm saying. Is that okay? I see a couple of people keep on asking about it. So there is no point in collecting the presentation. The point is absorbing it and start implementing it. You have to focus on your question bank. I'm going to give you that question bank. You need to be ready. Is it okay, Jatin? And others who are asking for it, right? Okay, thank you so much. So, question bank and the best possible answer is, as I told you, the two parts to it: what to answer and how to answer. What to answer deals with the knowledge, and how to answer deals with skills and behavior. This is what you got to focus on. This is what your activity is all about. All other things is supporting this. Okay. Now, what we have to do is, as I told you, you need to prepare it at level 1 and level 2. Level 1 is typically between 1 to 1.5 minutes, and level 2 is around 2 to 3 minutes. And also have a follow up answer with examples and situation. This is very important. Okay, so I also covered this. I asked you who's the guy in the front. You all said it's Usain Bolt. Why is he fastest man on earth? Because his takeoff is very good. In a 100-meter sprint, this is very important. Similarly, in an interview process, the first few minutes are extremely important if you want to create that impact. And that is why we are trying to do this. Okay, great. So, what I'm going to share with you is a 30 most probable HR round interview questions. Okay, now, is there 35, is there 40, is there 50? Yes, possible. It is possible, but I'm trying to share with you 30 most probable question. There are different kinds of questions that are asked in this HR round. One is the traditional HR questions. Okay, what I did was, during this weekend I put on a thinking hat and I said, let me classify this question bank into 3 or 4 different types. The first one is the classic traditional HR question. The second is, they ask you to identify your behavioral tendencies. They'll put you into a situation and they try to see how do you react to it. The third is opinion based question. They want to pick your brain. They want to see what is your opinion about it. They may ask question like, between salary and a career growth, which one would you prefer and why? These are all, they want to understand the opinion. What is your take on work and life balance? What is your take on working in India or overseas? They just want to assess you. What is your thought process all about? And there are some questions called pick your brain HR questions. They are a fun kind of an HR question, which are basically done to see how are you going to react. Okay, so let's look at these set of questions, and I'm going to share all of that in a document format to you. As I shared with you, the first kind of question, which are the traditional HR questions, they are this. The first one is introduce yourself, tell me about yourself. No brainer, 98% they will start with this question. There could be one or two HR people who may start differently, but 98% would start with this. The second question, which can come here or there, could be what are your strengths and weaknesses. One question that I normally ask is what are your career objectives, just to see what kind of an ambition that you have. Why should we hire you? Why do you think you're eligible for this job? Why is this question asked? Is to find out what you think about yourself. Will you talk about your strengths, your experiences, your achievements, or you have understood the job description? That is why they ask this question. This is amazing question. What is your greatest personal achievement so far? Right? So suppose you don't prepare for it, you will not be able to structure it in an interview stage. And that is why we are asking you to prepare for it. Okay. Now tell me about a team project that you were involved in. What are your salary expectation? Do you have any questions for us? 8 out of 10 people, they say they don't have questions. This is a great opportunity for you to ask this question. Why did you leave your previous job, if applicable? This is one question I always ask if I'm interviewing someone who comes with experience. Why is there a gap in your employment? Gap years after your education, if applicable. Why have you changed your job so frequently? Can you explain why you changed your career paths? Now, if you look at it, question 10, 11, and 12 are pressure tactic question, right? Now, take the bull by the horn, because these are the questions that are made to test you, right? Why is there a gap here? Why are you changing the jobs frequently? All these are to test you. How are you going to react? So people, get ready. This question will come if you have a gap here in your education, or if there is a gap in an employment, because company wants to know why did you have a gap. Because generally an employment gap year, unless otherwise because of some real external factors, there is something, a challenge, right? Why would somebody have a gap year, right? Normally a person will not quit unless he or she has another job. 1 month, 2 months is okay. If you have a 6 months gap, if you have a year gap, unless you have a valid reason, it is considered as a not so good point to be there, but you can justify it, what you need to do that. So many people, what they do is, the moment question 10, 11, and 12 comes to you, you tend to it's like a bouncer or a yorker. So if a batsman knows how to face a bouncer or a yorker, he will play it well, else he will be succumb to some kind of a pressure here. Okay, so I see a lot of people typing on the chat box, I have gap years. You need to come up with an appropriate answer, right? You can't change that. If you have a gap year, you have a gap year. And you can't stop that interviewer from asking that question. Am I right? Right? It will come. Even if you escape, it will come somewhere or the other, because they would like to pick. It is a good opportunity for an interviewer to bowl a googly at you, right? Bowl a dusra at you, bowl a yorker at you. So we need to prepare. You can't duck, right? You can't escape that, or you can't stay quiet. You need to find out why did you have a gap year. That is why you need to sit down, think, and try to be as factual as possible, right? Try to be as actual as possible. Somebody says, I dropped off from the college. Mention you dropped off from the college. That is a fact. And you have to give a reason why you dropped out from the college. Yes, absolutely. Telling the truth in the right way, in the factual way is good, but you need to give reasons, right? Why did you drop out? What was your thought process? What was the decision? Do you think that decision was appropriate? You need to explain. Okay. Now, next one is around behavioral questions. Now, this is again beautiful, right? Tell me about a mistake that you made in your career or life, right? Tell me about a collaborative project and what are your key learnings. This is an amazing opportunity for you to explain Masai School. I'm just giving you pointers because I am going to give you an activity. This activity of 30 questions has to be prepared in the next 15 days. Are you with me? 2 questions every day. You need to script it. You need to prepare the answer. You need to record it on Taplingua. Right? This is an activity, and without doing this activity, you will not be Masai accredited. How many of you are yet to onboard into Taplingua? Okay, people who have not onboarded into TapLingua, you will get the access very soon. People who have onboarded onto TapLingua, you need to do this at the priority. Tell me about a mistake you made in your career or life. Tell me about your collaborative projects. How do you deal with pressure situation? Tell me a challenge you have faced at work, life, how you dealt with it. Tell me about a time where you displayed leadership skills. Right? Now, these are some behavioral HR questions. The third one is very interesting. These are opinion based questions. What do you think of an ideal career? What motivates you and why? Which one would you value more, a top notch salary or learning opportunity, and why? What is your dream company to work for? Don't tell your company is a dream company. I'm sure all of us have some dream company, right? So try to be a little more, realistic there. What would your friends or co-workers say about you? Right? Why did you join Masai school and what has been your experience? What is your perfect day, work day look like? Take me through it. How do you deal with feedback and criticism? Right? No, a lot of you are writing answers on the chat box. Do not write now. Right? I'm just opening up your pores. You need to sit down, open a Google Doc, every question you need to think through and craft 2-level answer. What are the 2 levels? Level 1, how much should be the answer? How much should be the answer level 1? How long should be the answer? No, not 138 words exactly. Approximately 1 to 1.5 minutes, which is around 100 to 130 words. Okay. Level 2, a little more in deeper, 3 to 5 minutes. It's really tough. I'm telling you. Really tough. You need to get going. Somebody is asking, what is question number 24? Very easy. The question number 24 is, what does your perfect day or work day look like? I just want to know if you have already worked, what is your perfect day? Probably you can say that I start the day by working on a project, I get a debrief, I have a zone of working for the next 2 hours, I accomplish something, I present, I go for a meeting. Typical day if you have worked already. If not, if you have not worked, probably you can take a perfect day in Masai school or a perfect day in your life. Yes, all these questions you're going to get. The fourth category of question is something very interesting. I call it pick your brain question. Like for example, I asked Rajendra Nail, if you won a lottery of 5 crore rupees, would you still work? Give me an example of your creativity. Right? How much do you think you should be paid by looking at your qualification or your experience? What are your hobbies and leisure interests? What are the 3 things that are most important for you in a job? Right? So what I'm trying to give you is a curated list of 30 most probable questions. If you are ready with these answers to these 30, trust me, you need to believe me, 80% of the questions can be answered in a very, very confident way. But do not memorize it. Okay, it will look like canned answer. You need to get some pointers so that it will help you to build with the flow. The structure will help you, the pointers will help you, right? So that you can be, but you need to sound natural. I don't know how many of you know when you watch the presidential speech of Barack Obama or George Bush. Do you think these are on the spot, on the fly speeches? No way. All these speeches are written by their speech writer and they go through many times, and then they also got cue cards based on which they will do that. That is the way you need to do that. Okay. Sum and substance, HR interview rounds can make or break your opportunity to join your dream company. So make sure you nail them. How do you do that? By preparing. First of all, anticipate what kind of questions can come. Preparing answers for these questions, practicing them, and that is how you can start performing. Remember, once again, it's what to answer is knowledge, how to answer is skill and behavior. So the questions, when you're scripting them, it's actually the content that you're preparing. But equally important is how you deliver it and what kind of a behavior that you demonstrate while you are delivering it. Are you all aligned so far? Are you all aligned so far? Right? So I will give you those 30 questions by end of the day and we will go through this. Okay? Now, some more pointers. I'll keep giving you pointers so that you absorb completely. One of the tasks I told you is for these 30 questions, you open the Google Doc and start preparing the answers, right? Two level 1 and level 2. Level 1 is for 1 to 1.5 minutes. Level 2 is 3 to 5 minutes. Most important, do not fake. Do not fake. And a solid interviewer will be able to pick up your weaknesses, right? Now it has to be as much as factual as possible, because interviews are smart, because they have seen so many people like you. They will pick it up, right? So every interviewer is different, and each one's question might vary. Piyush Nair is saying, sir, please pick a question and explain L2. I'm struggling with it. Very easy. So let's take one question. Explain, for example, let's say, tell me about a team project that you were involved. Okay, this can be told at L1, L2, L3, L4, L5, right? You can pick a project, you can give an overview of a project. Let me explain to you a project that I worked on in Masai school. I had to clone an e-commerce website, and the project given to me was of Flipkart. Now, let me tell you, this total number of days that I had available to make this project was X. What was the project debrief? How many days I had? What are the technologies that I used for front end and back end, etc., etc. You can go. This is an overview of a project. I'm sure you can do it in 1 to 1.5 minutes. Now, L2 is deeper. You can go deeper. What are the challenges that you faced? What were the bugs that happened? What are the help that you got it? And that's the way you need to do that. Okay? I've answered your question, Nair, Pratyush Nair. Got it? Okay, great. So that's the way that you need to go through this, and the rounds can make or break your opportunity to join your dream company. So going back, what I'm telling you is, do not fake. L2 level is more in depth with situation based responses. That is where you need to bring situations, right? Now, please understand, every interviewer is different, and each one's question may vary. What questions I ask, what Nrupal asks, what Pratik asks, what Ankur asks, what Payoshini asks, what Shaini asks, what Isha asks are different. But by preparing answers for these common interview questions, you can develop compelling talking points to make a great impact during the job interview. Okay? Oh my God. Ashish Chaudhary, Vijay Prakash, are you all focusing in what I'm saying, or did you join late? I said you prepare for 2 levels. Initially, you give only 1 level. If the interviewer asks for more details, go to L2. Is it clear? Or is it so difficult for all of you to understand? Right? I'm telling you one more thing. Please listen carefully. You need to focus. I'm asking you to prepare L1 and L2. If a question comes, you need to use only L1. If the interviewer is interested, he will ask you more than you have L2. Okay? I don't want you to repeat this question again. I've made it very clear. Okay? Great. So in the preparation phase and the practice phase of your interview preparation, you need to figure out the answers for all these 30 questions. There is a typo error, right? So your question gets answered, the L1 and the L2 level, right? L1 is generally around 1 to 1.5 minutes, and L2 is a little more in detail. Now, remember question number 11, 10, 11 and 12? What were those 3 questions? Let me check your memory. 10, 11 and 12, what were those 3 questions? Gap year in terms of education, gap year in terms of employment, why did you leave the job, right? These are all bouncers question. Now they are also known as a curveball question, right? If the ball is coming straight, it is easy to play. But if the ball is in swinging or outswing or onto your Yorker, it is little difficult, right? So now and then they ask you this question: why did you leave your previous job? You said you were enjoying that job. Why did you leave that job? Why is there a gap in your employment? Can you explain why you changed your career paths? Why should we hire you? Why do you think you're eligible for this job? But please watch here. How is the words, tonality and body language of the interviewer? Right? Now this, depending upon this, sometimes I ask to put a bit of a stress to ask, why should we hire you? And sometimes when happens that, what is your salary expectation? And he will say 8 to 10 lakhs. What? 8 to 10 lakhs for a fresher? For a BSc background? Why should I pay you? I go to tier 1 colleges, BTech, computer science. My average CTC is 7 LPA out there. On what basis? Now again, the word, tonality and body language. This is to put you under pressure to see whether you justify. Right? So these are the questions which are basically provoking questions. The trick to handle this question, right? First of all, you must be prepared for it. Right? If you're not prepared for it, it may be a challenge, but even otherwise, you can't prepare for all questions, right? Stay calm. Take a pause. Think and respond. Stay calm. Take a pause. Think and respond. Most important, do not react. Do not react. Right? Stay calm. It takes some time. And take a pause before answering these curveball questions. Do not jump. Right? I've seen a lot of people, when these curveball questions come, they react. They just want to defend it. Right? And you will not be able to answer it very well. Okay? Now somebody is asking, what should I respond to a salary expectation? That is something the placement team will prepare you, because they are aware about what is the kind of CTC that role comes in. So I want you to park that question. Anup and team, Ankur and team will take you there. Okay? To stay calm, take a pause, think and respond, do not react. Please understand, interviewers are interested to see if you have a presence of mind, how you react to such situation. They just want to see how you react to the presence of mind to such situation. Is he a guy? Because tomorrow at work also you'll be tested in this way. Okay? Now, a lot of people are asking, what should I answer? Why should you hire you? Come on guys, put on your thinking hat. You can't expect all answers from me. Huh? सब आंसर मैंने दे दिया तो फिर आपका काम क्या है? I want you to go, open a Google Doc, put on your thinking hat every day, 2 questions. Prepare it. I want you to put some effort. Why are you expecting ready-made answers in your life? Do you think that once you join the company, you're going to get ready-made codes to you? No, right? Please don't expect spoon feeding at Masai school. I want you to go and try. First try. Only then you will be able to answer a few more questions that is going to come. I don't want anyone to ask this question, how to answer this, how to answer that. I've given you some pointers, right? I've given you some direction. I think all of you have got used to that instant 2-minute noodles preparation. Huh? You want to become a celebrity chef or a 2-minute noodle? If you want to become a celebrity chef, you need to prepare the food that way. If you prepare 2-minute noodle, I don't know what is the cost now. Quite some time I have not taken that noodle. Kitna hai ek packet? 15 rupees, 20 rupees? 5 rupees, my God. Right? So don't get into that kind of a mode. This is your career. The next 30, 40 years you're going to spend there. Okay? I want all of you to be a celebrity chef kind of an approach where you go and prepare. Then you will own that answers, and not to worry. Install a Grammarly, think some questions, structure it. Then it is your answer. If I give you a ready-made answer, then it is Yogesh's answers, Masai's answer. I want you to write your story, not my story. Am I clear here? I don't want once again any of you asking me how to answer this. First you attempt. Even if it doesn't come out well, the entire team out there will support you. Isha, Maitri, Shruti, Avinash, Samiksha, the entire EM's team is out there to help you. But first attempt you got to do. If I start spoon feeding, it will not happen. Okay? So I don't want to see that again. Now, this is something which is very important. Mostly at the end of the interview, your interviewers might ask if you have any questions for them. This is a hint that interview is getting over. Right? Now, many people will say, I have no questions. Now, do plan this in advance. Have at least 2 or 3 meaningful questions. Keep it ready, 2 or 3 meaningful questions. This will create a good impression with the interviewers. It also shows that you have been paying attention and have done your homework. That means you have been to their website, you have read about the company, right? You can ask about the CSR activity. Yes, good question. You can ask about company's growth plans. I'll give you some pointers. Okay, cool. So, what kind of questions can I ask the interviewer? You can't ask when is my pay, when is my next pay revision, right? Or you can't ask some stupid questions like to an HR guy, what is the tech stack that you're using? I've seen this happening. Imagine you go to the HR guy and ask him, what is the backend that you're using? That HR person will go in the spin. At the same time, the technical guy is there. You go and ask him something related to leave policy. He's not interested, right? So different strokes for different folks. Okay, so first you need to get ready preparation of your employer's research. Some useful resources to research: company's website, Quora, Glassdoor, social media. But don't get carried away with this. You know what? There is an extreme some of the way our students react, right? I gave this example to one of the students. He went and he was at the time of placement, so he followed it to the T. He went and looked at that company in the Glassdoor, and he came back and told Ankur that Ankur, I don't want to apply for this company. Why? The Glassdoor reviews are not good. Ankur said, okay, how many reviews are there? 2 reviews. Right? Sometimes you can't just go by what it is there on the website, right? Maybe a disgruntled employee might have written something. So you need for observation and absorption, but finally the decisions you need to take. More resources, more inputs are available on LinkedIn, business media, YouTube, job posting, current network, alumni. So this is way you need to get ready for preparation, employers research. Now, what I did was I did a lot of, I rolled out a form. I'm connected to a lot of people in the HR. I asked them what is the biggest mistake that you can make in a job interview. And according to the recruiters, know little to nothing about a company that you're interviewing with, or knowing little to nothing about the position that you have applied for, right? There are people who walk into the interview as though they are walking into PVR cinema with a ticket. At least PVR cinema, you would have seen the trailer and gone. In this, they walk in, Gargi would have sent a message from placement. Hi Alpha, you have an interview tomorrow at ABC company. And this person, Alpha, just goes at 11 o'clock and he sits like that. Abhi batao, aapne bulaya, right? That is not the way. You've got to better prepare. Knowing little to nothing about the position you applied to and why you are interested in. Some of the phrasing questions, let me tell you how you need to phrase is very important because you're asking question, right? Now let's say that here is a student wants to know about office opening in Hyderabad, right? What could be a fair way to ask? Are you planning to open an office in Hyderabad? It's a fair. There's nothing wrong in that. Also, how you ask is important. What is a good way to ask? What are your plans for opening an office in Hyderabad? Better is, I read in the news about possible opening for an office in Hyderabad. When would you be announcing the same? The worst is, which sector are you opening in Hyderabad? Is it Banjara Hills or in Nizamabad? That's a bad way to ask, right? So there's a way in which that you ask this question and you need to be appropriate. Now, few things that you must do well. These are non-negotiable. Listen to every question carefully. Listening, not hearing. Remember, the first thing that we taught you in Skillathon is listening. The better we listen, the more we learn. The more we learn, we realize how little we know. Listen to every question carefully. Listening to what is said and what is not being said. Observe the body language of the person, right? Keep a book and a pen if you want to write down, and very useful in technical questions, but also equally important in HR and general round. Take time to think before you speak. It is not fastest fingers first. You're not playing KBC, right? Wherein which if you don't press the fastest finger, you will not get the hot seat, right? Take time to think before you answer. And if you don't know the answer, admit it. What I'm giving you is the famous 5 here, right? These 5s are very important. I'm going to give you a lot of pointers, but these 5s are the core, right? Keep a glass of water handy. I'm telling you, many of us will be doing a lot of speaking during the interview and you're not used to it. you may have a choke, right? Drinking some water is good. I generally recommend warm water or a room temperature water. Don't take cold water when you have to speak in length, because it doesn't help you to keep your throat clean. Okay, so these are the 5 things that will help you to get through the interview very, very comfortably. Now, once again, okay, there is a twist for all of you. For the first time, that what we have introduced uh, is not just the HR round question. We are going to ask you on coding round also. Lot of times what has happened, students have been able to get through Mac process by answering the question bank of general, but you would get into the HR round only if you clear the coding round. Am I right, friends? Right? So, while we are not technically qualified, but what I have done is I've worked with Albert and we have picked up 45 most probable coding round. Again, most probable because coding is very vast. Albert says I can give you 450 questions. I said, give me, actually, I told Albert, give me 30. He gave me 80. Then we discussed and arrived at 45. Okay, so I'm going to share these 45 questions to you. For example, explain briefly what happens when you hit an URL. Explain DNS lookup. What is a URL full form? Explain what a URL is and the 4 parts. What is HTTP protocol and what is TCP protocol? Now, while at Masai School our focus is on skill building, but these are fundamental blocks of that particular technology you must be able to answer. Right? So I'm going to give you these questions. I'm not going to go through all of them. I will give you through that. What is clickjacking? How do you fix it? Now, again, the same thing that you need to take care: the structure, the substance, and the style. There is a structure to answer this question. You need to have that substance in it and the style. Again, I'll tell you, you please follow L1 and L2. L1 is for 90 minutes and L2 is for 5 minutes. Right? You must be able to answer this in 90 seconds and also in 300 seconds. Right? If you're able to do that, that shows your ability. Right? For example, what is clickjacking and how do you fix it? 90 seconds answer and a 300 seconds answer. Right? What is the difference between preloading and prefetching? What is progressive rendering? What is service workers? What does @media do? What is scoping? Right? Explain the promises to a 5-year-old with simple example. Right? What is currying? Explain event delegation. What is a closure? And there are some more here. Okay, this is work in progress. There could be some addition, deletion, so not to worry about it. Okay, so I'm going to give you, you start. How to know? Oh my God, Niharika, I am surprised with that question. How to answer when is L1 or L2? Somebody would like to answer this, please. I am tired. I'm going to unmute you. Who can answer Niharika? Niharika's question is how to know to answer L1 or L2. Niharika, someone is going to answer. Who can answer this? I have unmuted. Who can answer this? Thank you, Vishnu Kant. Can you speak up? Vishnu.
Hi, good evening, sir.
Yes,
Am I
Vishnu.
audible?
When to use L1 and L2?
When interviewer asks first time, then we have to use L1, and when interviewer go deeper into it, then we have to use L2.
Yeah, and typically L1 is how long?
1 minute,
One
60 seconds to 70 seconds.
60 to 90 seconds. Okay.
Yeah.
And for a tech, you can give a little more. Okay. And L2?
2 minutes to 3 minutes between.
नहीं, थोड़ा ज़्यादा है. L2 is 3 to 5 minutes. Okay.
Okay.
So for tech, you can give a little more. Okay. So, and again, it is not by the rule. It also depends upon the interviewer, right? Whether he's in a hurry or he's a relaxed person. That also matters a lot. Cool.
Yeah.
So these are the questions that are there. I will definitely share in a document today, and we will keep updating that as we progress. Okay, great. Quick question. In which quadrant will you put each of these cases? Do you remember we did 2 by 2 quadrant? Quadrant 1 is here, L1. This is L2. This is L3 and this is L4. A candidate who is excellent in technical skills, is proactive, hardworking, does more than what is required. Where will you put him? L1, L2, L3, L4, or Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. Q4, very good. Quadrant 4. Quadrant 4. A candidate who is not very interactive, answers few words, introvert, and not good in technical skill. Q1, absolutely. Very good answer. This is fastest, fingers first. A candidate who is very good in technical skill but very lazy in one's approach. Delay the task and inconsistent. Q3, absolutely, absolutely. Good. Remember, total misfit is Q1. Potential problems is Q2, Q3, and Q4. Okay, eligibility versus suitability. The trick to handle an unexpected question is, what should you do? Remember the curveball question? What should you do? Very smart. Ankit is answering. You must do all. Stay calm, take pause, think and respond. The next question. It is mandatory to talk about your family while presenting your introduction in a personal interview. True, false? Okay, I would give you depends upon your comfort, but if it is a HR round, I would say it is good to do. I would not say mandatory, true, false. I'll add one more one. C, good to talk about. So the answer is C. I would say C. Okay, it's good to talk about it, but not mandatory. It will help. Okay, but if you're a person who is not very comfortable, I can't force upon. Great. Okay, so I think this is the task that I gave it to you. You please complete it on this, and let's look at the next part today. Okay, I'm already running late. I wanted to cover a little slowly and a little more deeply, and that is why I'm doing that. Quick response. How has been the learning so far? I think some of you missed yesterday Saturday's session, but I have done a recap. How has been overall? Useful, right? Okay, good. The whole idea is to see, a lot of people have myths, fear, assumption, bias, prejudices about the interview, right? I'm going to help you to doing that. Please remember, it has only two parts. What to answer is knowledge, and how to answer is skill, behavior, and a process that you will use it. And that is what interview is all about. So let's start. How do you get ready on the interview day? Now, before I do that, I forgot to share with you, there is a very powerful method called STAR method. L1, L2. L1 is very easy. To make L2 more effective, I'm going to give you a method called STAR method. L1, 60 to 90 seconds. You can give it very easily. Somebody asks L2, I'm struggling. I'm going to help you with a method called STAR method. How many of you are interested? How do you know what is STAR method? Anyone? Oh, somebody has already Googled it. Okay, so let's look at what is the STAR method. Now, I want to start with the situation. Let's say the interview asks, describe a time where you were under a lot of pressure at work and how did you react? Possible? An interview might ask a question. Hey Vijay. Hey Ravi. Hey Akash. Describe me a time where you were under a lot of pressure at work and how did you react? If you were already at previous working experience, or you would say, how was your journey in Masai school? You would say it was fantastic, great. You would say that you were under pressure there, and you would say, yeah, a lot of pressure because the entire curriculum was packed. Or you would say, explain to me a situation where you were under a lot of pressure. How did you react? Possible? Now let's look at how do we apply the STAR method and make it really impactful. The STAR stands for situation, task, action, result. Situation, task, action, result. Okay, now let's look at it. In my previous collaborative project at Masai School, one of our project members fell sick. That's the situation. right? Before that, you can give few starting. At Masai school, we are supposed to do a project. There are some individual project, there are some collaborative project. Now, let me explain to you, in my previous collaborative project at Masai school, one of the team members fell sick. You can add little more details if you want. Four members of my project team include Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta. Alpha is from Gurgaon, Bravo is from Ahmedabad, Charlie is from Lucknow, and Delta is from Nagpur. Add a little bit of storytelling here, but all factual. In my previous collaborative project at Masai school, one of my team members fell sick. What was the task? The task was, although I was already managing a lot in this project, right? And I was assigned this new part as well. Okay? Now I had very easily, I could have said no, but I knew the stakes were high for all four of us. If we don't complete on time, then we won't be able to take part in the hackathon competition. Maybe you can give a build up. There was a hackathon competition for which the projects have to be taken care, etc., etc. Now, what was the action? The action is, what I did was, I first took some measure to de-stress, because the moment they say take an additional responsibility, obviously your palpitation goes up, your stress level goes up. So I took some measure to de-stress. So first of all, I stayed calm, I thought through. Then I carefully evaluated and restructured my task list to make sure I could manage all my duties. Because of this, I was able to take myself control. I did not react, I responded. I sacrificed some evenings and weekends to take work until the project was delivered. Result, the project was finished. It was shortlisted as the top 5 projects, presented to the panel, and we were declared as runner-up. Oh, Vijay Prakash is saying that this happened to him in the last project. Did you see that? Did you see the structure? Did you see the flow? None of them was not factual. All were facts. But the way you presented it, you will be able to create impact. Not necessarily should I always have positive ending. No, maybe not so good ending also possible. No, it's okay, right? Now, STAR method will help you to prepare clear and concise responses using real life examples. So STAR method is all about applying it to your real life examples. So it is absolutely crucial that you bring your real life examples to foray here. Now, if you look at it, what have I done? In situation, I've given the detailed background, provide a context, where and when, but don't go too deep into it. A 1 minute is good enough, but the context needs to be there. Then requires the task, the challenge, what needs to be done and why, probably another minute. Action, elaborate your specific action. What did you do? How and what tools did you use? Maybe 2 minutes. And then the result. Explain the result, accomplishment, recognition, savings. Aram se, with ease, you can use STAR method to answer a question for 5 minutes. Beautifully you can do it. But if you did not have this structure, you will be all over. You will be all over. And not only you, the interview will also be all over. I've seen people, very interesting discussion I was having with one of the CHRO of a company, and he just came out of one interview of a senior person. And I just asked him, how did the interview go? He said, Yogesh, have you been to Lucknow? I said, yeah. I thought he'll ask whether did you have kebabs. I would have said that I'm a vegetarian. You know what is the question he asked? Have you gone to that Bhul Bhulaiya? What is that place? Somewhere there in Lucknow, right? I have not been to that place, but I have seen that on the TV. Where once you go in, you get lost, right? This is exactly what happened to me. This guy was all over the place, and I completely lost him. Then the interview, I had put a slot of 45 minutes. In 15 minutes, I said enough, because he was all over the places. Not only he was all over, and I could not catch up with him at all. And I said, such a senior person, if he's all over the place, how will he lead the team? Yes, Imam Bara or Bhul Bhulaiya, absolutely. But if you use STAR, right, you will be like, what is that famous road? Lucknow to Agra, right? That 4 lane or 6 lane, that road that is being laid out, it will be like that. Use a star technique, you will have Yamuna Expressway. Absolutely. If you use a star task, it will be okay. Agra Expressway. Are you all with me? How many of you want to use this technique? Type me. Meanwhile, let me take a water break. Okay, fantastic. So this is the method that is used for answering the behavioral question. You can make sure you're fully addressing the interviewer's question while also demonstrating how you are able to overcome the previous challenge and be successful. Guys, I will give you, me and my team will give you all methods that are required. All approaches are required. I'll make it as easy as possible for you to understand. That's my job. If I am saying and if you don't understand, it is my fault. So I'll make sure that I'll say it in the best possible way, in a simple way but powerful way. But taking it, absorbing in it, believing in it, working on it, and making it is happen is your responsibility, right? Am I right, friends? Is this okay to have this expectation, right? Because I can't go for your interview, right? Debu can't send me, say, Yogesh, जाके मेरा interview देखे आओ, right? You have to do that. And not to worry, you will only get better. You keep trying this, you will keep getting better. Okay, now one more, very interesting one. This is my favorite one. Now this is truly happened with one of our students in the second batch. I asked him, tell me about a mistake you have made and how did you handle it? And then I just framed it in a STAR technique. He didn't know it was a STAR technique. I evolved it. And you know what? After his, he was working. He's I think BCom or a BSc student. He was working as an intern for. Oh no, I think MBA. I guess he was working as an intern for an events company. Right? It was in Delhi. And that events company was ordering the floral arrangements for a private event hosted by a high-profile client. You know what happened? This guy was in Delhi. They were supposed to send red flowers to Gurgaon and white flowers to Noida. Okay, the red flower, the event was, I think, 25th wedding anniversary, and white flowers is for some other function. Now, what he did was, he did the ulta. He sent the red flowers to Noida and white flowers to Gurgaon. Now, obviously, after the flower goes, there is another team which will go and set it up. He realized it after sending it, and he knew it has got dispatched. It is almost reaching it, right? Now, what he did, he knew it is very seriously, and he needed to find a solution. All he did was, after considering a few different ways to resolve it, he admitted his mistake to his boss, informed them of the plan, and I thought I was the best course of action. Took an early lunch break, drove all the way to the venue. He picked up the red flowers and he came and delivered it in Noida, and red flowers from Noida and delivered it to Gurgaon. And Gurgaon, he took the white flowers and gave it to Noida. I know if you are from Delhi, you know both are on the other sides, right? Noida is on this side and Gurgaon is on this side. And it all happened. The client never knew about the mix-up, and the boss was very happy. Now, you got to think about these kind of mistakes that you have made. They can ask, tell me about a mistake that you have made in a project. Tell me about a mistake you made in your life. How did you handle it? Okay, so that's about the STAR technique, guys. These are super useful. The story is non-fictional, logical beginning, middle, and end. Did you see that none of them are saying long ago there lived a king, right? It is all your story, right? It's non-fictional, logical beginning, and you could have done this, right? So you may say that you can take any one of this and can reduce the time. Absolutely. Easiest way to keep the interviewer engaged and listening. Okay, similarly, the question might come, what are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? You need to get ready with them. Okay, cool. Now, I want to share with you some questions, or some examples of behavioral questions. I'm not going to run through the entire list. This will be added in that document and shared with you. I just want to pick one or two behavioral questions from these dream companies: Facebook, Airbnb, Amazon, Slack, Planter, and Stack Overflow. Okay, can you quickly go through this? Are you interested? One or two questions I'll go through. Okay, now let's look at what does Facebook look for that. Okay, let's start the common Airbnb question. What are the largest problem in the world you would like to solve today? Why do you like Airbnb? Share one of your trips with us. What do you think of Airbnb? What excites you about the company? Let's look at Amazon. How do you deal with failed deadlines? Please understand Amazon is a company that will never accept not adhering to the deadlines. Why do you want to work for Amazon? Common question. Look at this. What is the most exceedingly bad misstep, bad decision you have made at the point? How do you improve Amazon's website? All of you should know company's website before going for interview. You must also look at what are the few things that caught your attention of the company's website. What are the few things that you found difficult to navigate? What could be that one or two suggestion? Right? Let's look at hired. Why are you leaving the current job? Tell me about a time that you're working on a responsibility, got a little overwhelming. What did you do? Where do you want to be in 5 years? Plantair. What would a manager say about you? This is something I loved it. Describe Plantair to your grandmother. Imagine that you are going and applying, let's say you are applying for Masai school. How would you explain Masai school's business to your grandmother? So ability to simplify. Because you can't say income share agreement, your grandmother will not understand. You can't say e-commerce, your grandmother may not understand. What was the most fun thing that you did recently? Slack. Why? Tell me about your past projects. Tell me something about your internship. I love this question. Did you find any bugs in Slack? Plantair is a company. Go and check. It's a US based company. It's a multinational company. Stack Overflow. What have you built? Why do you want to work here? Stripe. How do you stay updated with latest technologies? Many, many, many things. I just gave you some examples. So what is STAR? Basically, you prepare for a situation, task, action, result. Situation, task, action, result. That is what is all about. Now, having said that, there was a survey that was done. What are the common interviewing mistakes candidates do? They came up with 4 mistakes, common mistakes. First is the rambling. How many of you understand this word rambling? I'll give you an example. If somebody asked you, what are your strengths and weakness? Well, actually, what I want to tell about myself is I'm a person who has a lot of strength. There are some strengths which is really, really strong about me in terms of time management. Time is something which is I'm very strong at it. I never go, overshoot my time. Actually, the other one strength which is much more stronger than that is I'm very disciplined. What am I trying to do? Rambling. I'm all over. That's rambling. The second one is lack of conviction, knowledge, skill, ability. Period. I have seen some students, I feel sad. They have done very well throughout the journey. They lack conviction on what they know, which comes from knowledge, skill, and ability. And they came back saying that this person did not clear round 1. We were shell shocked. Contradiction, gaps in the answer. Please remember, in this journey of 30-40 minutes during the interview, if you have told the facts, there's a beautiful proverb. If you have said the truth, you don't have to remember what you have said. Have you heard about this statement? If you have said the truth, you don't have to remember what you have said. The problem is, if people try to fake, there will be contradicting gaps in their answers unless you have really mastered it, right? And not being genuine. Now, if these are the things that interviewer spots, you will pay the big price, right? So these are the ones that you need to take care about it. Now, how do you gain? Is how time to nail the behavioral interview is the most important thing is simply to prepare. Unlike technical interviews, the scope of questions that could be asked in behavioral round is very limited. With planning and practicing, you will do a great job. And that is where deliberate practice comes into play. Mock interviews comes into play. Tap lingua comes into play. the triad practice within three of you come to play. All these are where that you need to take care. I'm sure you would have heard about it in Unit 2 on deliberate practice. It refers to that special type of practice that is purposeful and systematic. While regular practice might include mindless repetition, deliberate practice requires focused attention and is conducted with a specific goal of improving performance. Improving performance. The goal is to improve your performance. So please use Tappling What to the maximum. It's a great tool to deliberate practice. And please form a group, three of you. Make triad role plays. Do you know what is a triad role play? Do you know the concept of triads? No? My God. How is it that you don't know? Let me explain this to you. Are you able to see the white screen? Are you able to see the white screen? Okay. Now what is a triad? Immediately I want you to form three of you. I'll take three names here. Raju Jaiswal, Shivam Gupta, and Vaibhav. Are you okay? Raju Jaiswal, Shivam Gupta, and Vaibhav. I'm explaining you what is a triad role play. Now let us say that you decide to meet every day between 9 to 10 p.m. or even it could be 9 to 9:30, it doesn't matter. Half an hour or 1 hour. 1 hour is ideal, half an hour is minimum. Now what is a triad? Triad is nothing but a triangle. In round one, Rahul will be the interviewer. Sanjay will be the interviewee, and Vaibhav will be the observer. Now let's say Rahul is the interviewer. He will ask a question. Explain to me about a project that you have completed. Now Sanjay will explain this. Level 1 and stop. If Rahul requires, he can ask a little more follow-up question, level 2. Then one more question, Rahul can ask something around what is a bubble sort? Or what explain dynamic programming to me. Then Sanjay will explain. Now while this everything is happening, what is Vaibhav doing? Is observing. Once that, let's say you are deciding 10 minutes, you complete this in 8 minutes, and Vaibhav gives a feedback to Sanjay saying that, hey Sanjay, this went well, these are the areas for improvement. The round 1 is over. In how much? 10 minutes if you have a half an hour slot. If you have a 1 hour slot, you can do it for 20 minutes. Round 2, you remember the mad triangle, that add? It turns. Now Sanjay becomes the interviewer and Vaibhav becomes the interviewee. And who becomes the observer? Rahul becomes the observer. You repeat. Round 3, Vaibhav becomes the interviewer, Rahul becomes the interviewee, and Sanjay becomes the observer. If you are dedicating half an hour, 10 minutes. If you are dedicating 1 hour, 20 minutes. Now what is the beauty of this exercise? Tell me. Tell me what is the beauty of this exercise. Tell me what are the few things that you gain by doing this. All practiced, all listened. Most importantly, you wear different hats. One, you wear the hat of an interviewer. One, you wear the hat of an observer. One, you wear the hat of an interviewee. Trust me, the most powerful way to practice is deliberate practice. And if you do this for 30 days, in the next 2 months, your performance will be to the next level. So I want you to form pairs, 3 of you. I don't want to decide the groups because all of you have to align yourself. So you listen better, you communicate better, you practice better. How many of you are going to form the groups? How many of you are going to form the groups? Huh? Okay, let's see how many of you are going to do this. People who have done that, they have come back to me and they have told Yogesh, thank you so much. Thank you, Masai School. This is really helped me. Okay, So let's get going and let's see how it is going there. So why mock interviews? Obviously, when you're doing this, it reduces the stress and anxiety. It boosts your confidence. Please remember, as an observer, when you are giving, it is a constructive feedback, and do not defend the feedback. Okay? Please accept it. Somebody is giving you. It is better to take it here rather than failing in the interview. What is PPP? What is PPP? Practice, practice, practice. Yes. Poor performance, proper preparation prevents poor performance. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. So I want you to prepare well. So deliberate practice has got 6 elements. It is designed to improve performance. Here, one of your friend acts as a coach, repeated a lot, not fun, mentally it is demanding, feedback is given to you. There are few things that you need to take care before the interview. Prepare well, remember the 5 P's, research about the company, get the tech infrastructure in place. Appropriate attire. What does it mean? I want you to groom well, groom appropriately. You need not wear a tie and a blazer because that doesn't require for your job. If I'm going for something like business development, or let's say in hospitality management where I'm a customer facing, it may require. But I would say smart casual is good for a techie role. You can wear a collared t-shirt, but see what color goes well on you, right? So choosing the right color for virtual is very important, right? Appropriate attire. You keep 2 sets of dress only for the interview day. Most of the days virtual interview, you just need to take care of your, the upper body, right? You're not much worried about what trousers you're going to wear, right? Masai t-shirt, yes and no. I'm not sure about it. I would recommend you to wear a clothing which is appropriate attire. Question bank with best possible answer. Enough mock interviews, updated portfolio and resume. Use STAR framework, and most important, mindset of a long-term job versus career. Now, these are the few things that you need to take care before the interview, right? Make sure it is not very floral shirt, right? It's okay. I know you're a person like to party, Goa, Caribbean, but be as much as possible. Check shirt is also good. Polo t-shirt is good. Yes, it's good. Like, why? See, you don't know who's the interviewer, right? Some interviewer might say, "Wow, I like the t-shirt," because you and me are of the same kind, right? Why do you want to take a chance? But maybe the other guy might say, "Are yaar, what did he wear and come?" Right? So it's better to be neutral here, not to overdo it. Check what color goes well on you. I'm sure your parents will tell you what shirt looks good on you. Take two dresses. Why I'm saying 2 is, if the other one is gone for a wash or not pressed, could be a problem. White, yeah, white, but sometimes you need to take care about the background. If you're wearing a white shirt and you have a white background, it may not come out well. So take care. It depends upon what background that you are in. You need to see what, in fact, that is why when you do the mock round with EMs or any of the CSBT team member, imagine that you are actually attending the interview and wear that clothes into and ask for a feedback at the end. How is my grooming? Right? These are all, we are giving you inputs. Right? Blue shirt is good. Normally blue goes well on virtual medium. You can try it out, but again, there are different colors of blue, so it will be difficult. Again, preparation is the key, and that is why I'm starting very early. One important key to success is self-confidence, right? And an important key to self-confidence is preparation. So prepare. There's nothing called over preparation. So what do you do on the interview day? Let's say tomorrow, Prajwal Jaiswal has an interview at 11 a.m. and he is interviewing with his dream company. Prajwal, name your dream company. Which company would like to be interviewed? Quickly. Tesla, fantastic. God be with you. May your wish be fulfilled. Tomorrow, 11 o'clock, Prajwal has an interview with Tesla. Right? What are you supposed to do? Obviously, butterflies in the stomach, anxieties, a lot of, things happening. So, but you need to take care of this. Take care of your background and lighting. No disturbances. Always take an interview from a location that you are comfortable. That is why if you're going to do it from your home, make sure what is that zone where you want to take the interview with. Tell your family, this is where I'm going to take the interview. On that day, make sure that the rice cooker or the mixie or something, the noise is not happening. Virtual background, if you want, you can use, no issues, but make sure it is appropriate. Sometimes using virtual background can, dull the entire experience, right? So take care about it. Make sure that your mobile is in the silent, turn off all notification. Please check your laptop, power, internet, backup option. What is the backup option? What if your internet fails? Do you have a backup? Because you don't get a second chance like interviewing for Tesla again, right? They understand, but still, why do you want to mess it up? Do you have a backup for power? Check your laptop thoroughly, webcam, mic, and speaker. I am surprised after saying this for, I don't know, 200 days, 200 times I would have told. Students going for interview, the webcams are not okay, the speakers are not okay, mic is not okay. I feel sad about it. Like, what else can we do? Huh? I can't come to your place and do this check. Right? You need to take care about it. Now, the last familiarity with respect to VC platform, you need to be comfortable with Zoom, which most of you are, but also be comfortable with WebEx. A lot of these companies will ask you to come in WebEx or Google Meet. So make sure you're comfortable with these three platforms: Zoom, WebEx, and Google Meets. Okay? Can we wear a headphone? Yes, but don't wear those huge ones like Captain so and so taking off on Boeing 747. It is so disturbing, right? You normally see I don't use headphones while taking classes because it is a bit distractive to the person watching. It is okay if you have a small ones, it is nice, but not too big ones. Okay, I've seen people with so much, it's that gaming headphone. No, it may be okay for the class. Earphone, headphone is okay, I'm saying okay, but have those small ones. Small ones are good, not the big ones, okay? Because ultimately your visual appearance will get affected with all those gadgets. Okay, if you're doing in person, you never know. It may be an in person with COVID going away. You never know. You may get an in person. Make sure you have a copy of your resume. It's good, but here you need to be a little more careful on the choice of clothes, the contrast that you're going to wear. The trousers and the shirt needs to be good. Polished shoes. Please take care about your venue, time, and mode of transportation. Let me tell you about this. In the first batch, our students graduated in December 2019. The interviews started happening in January. I remember this very well. They were supposed to do the interview in JP Nagar, if you know Bangalore. Our office was in Koramangala. So the previous day we all said all the best. The interview is at 10:30. We said all the best. Okay, and tomorrow. And morning when I came to the office at around for the scrum, we were there. Then I spotted these boys there. I asked them, "Don't you have an interview?" "Yeah, I'm going now." I didn't bother much. And at around 10:45, we started getting a call from the company saying that, "Hey, where are your Masai school students? They haven't come." Then we made a call to our student saying that, "Hey, where are you?" He said, "On the way." I said, "What nonsense?" "Sir, I'm about to reach." Okay, they went. The interview went well. One of them got shortlisted. The other two guys came back. So I asked in the evening, what went wrong? "Oh, Bangalore traffic, you know how difficult it is." I said, "Didn't you check the previous day?" "Yeah, I checked in the evening. It showed at around 30 minutes from Koramangala to JP Nagar. So we thought we leave at 9:45. We'll reach at 10:15. I asked, "What time did you check?" "Yeah, we checked at around 9:30 p.m. "Ah, okay. "What time did you leave this morning?" "At around 9:50 a.m. Did you see the difference? So plan, prepare the mode of transportation. If you're going by Ola, right? So you need to take care about it. Rest well, don't skip breakfast. Because especially the interviews are happening the first half, some people have this habit of skipping the breakfast. It gives you energy. If you're going in person, take care of comb, deo stick, and a mint, especially if you're a smoker. You would have done some puffs before going in. All this is no. Arrive early and mobile on silent, but don't arrive too early. I'll talk about it a little later. Now, for people who, I don't know how many of you have watched this video, I have a beautiful recording of how to ace virtual interview, right? It's a 45-minute session which covers the entire gamut of how to ace virtual interview, right? Starting with why companies do virtual interviews, right? What is the benefit for the organization? What is the benefit for the individuals? What are the challenges in the virtual interview? I've given 12 tips for mastering virtual interview. There are, out of that, 4 tips is before, 6 is during, and 2 is after. I want you to watch this complete virtual interview presentation at the earliest. I'm sure my team would have walked you through, but this is good to go through the virtual interview mastering, and that will help you. I'm sharing with you. You can watch it in a day or two so that you will get it. Just quickly, I'll run through it in detail. In that video, it is explained. Starting from hygiene factors. What are the hygiene factors you need to take care? The software you need to take care. Your mobile phones, big no. Your username. I have seen people having funny usernames. Cool Cat, Coding Ninja, Drunken Monk, Bruce Lee, right? All these are very, very distractive. Have your proper name, right? So that is why we insist having the right names. Update your professional social media profile also. You must log in 5 minutes prior, not 2 minutes later. 5 minutes prior. Have you seen always when I start my session, by the time you would have come in, I would have already logged in, I would have played some music. Why? Because it's a hygiene factor. It's always good to do that. So that, I'm not in a rush to start. It also gives me time to settle in. So similarly, when you are doing it, you must log in 5 minutes before. Take care about lights, camera, and background. And this is absolutely important. Test your camera. Avoid sitting lights over your head. Light should come from front and behind the web camera. Make sure your eye level, always eye level. I've seen people doing interviews like this. I've seen people doing interviews like this. Imagine if I had done the interviews like this. So distractive, right? It can be even better. What I have done is a makeshift today. I had to take it from a different room. Otherwise, it can be even better. Angle the lens so that it is an eye level is there. Dress appropriately. I've already described here. Minimal accessories. You want to sport a beard, it is okay. But take care of the neckline and the jawline. It needs to be groomed. It can't be shabby. Now, some of you might say, I'm a techie, I want to be cool. All those is okay. Once you start coding, you are an SD1, SD2 level. People already will talk about your work, not about how you look. If you're entering for the first time, all these things matters, right? So let's not think that they'll say that, the Facebook guy went for a VC meeting in a hoodie. That's okay. Because he's from a Harvard dropout, he can go in whatever he wants. Let us be a little more practical in nature, right? So there's nothing wrong in dressing appropriately. Don't show your attitude here because it's not going to help you. So I dress appropriately. So I've talked about it enough time. Preparation, practice, but don't memorize. I've asked you to prepare the question bank, but please don't memorize it. It will look canned. It needs to be very natural. Okay. Then during the presentation interview, start and stay confident. That's very important. Body language, take care. All this is to watch it. Make an eye contact with the camera. I've already discussed about it. Articulating and pacing is equally important. Don't be very fast. It needs to be appropriate. I've already explained react versus respond. The last one is important, is glitches. In spite of preparing best, you may have some glitches, right? Stay calm, work through the glitches, have always an alternate option. And finally, post after the interview, ask for a feedback, thank the panel, thank for their time, and tell them you're looking forward. And last but not the least, you might have heard about it in my earlier sessions, TGR and TGW. Things gone wrong, things gone right, right? It is absolutely important to assess yourself. Did your DSA round went well? Did the coding round went well? Did the behavioral round go well? And individual action plan. So a virtual interview is an effective and an efficient way to get a job. And as more and more companies turn towards this technology, it's important to become comfortable in front of the camera. The more you get comfortable in front of the camera, the more you do that. That is why we'll give you a checklist. Please go through this entire checklist. Before the interview, during the interview, and after the interview. All these documents will come to you once I complete this session, and all this will help you. Great. So I want to pause here for the day. I think I've given you enough and more content. When we connect on next Saturday, I will connect with you. What is it that few more things that you need to take care of? I will share meanwhile all the session recording. I will also share the question bank with you, which is an iterative process. Two things you got to do. I want you to start every day. Prepare one question which is from the general round and one from the tech, or one or two questions from the tech, L1 and L2. Start populating it, start recording it on your tap lingua. You keep doing this, you will get better. Okay, tap lingua is an app that will help you to do for recording. People who have not got the app, I'll get that done at the earliest. Dipti will send you all the links, you can get it done. Okay, so thank you so much for patient listening. I hope the session was useful.